The S1 series has a feature called Constant Preview. Let me demo what Constant Preview does. Now, we have our model Dawn here in a situation that the lighting is a little bit tricky. Now, Constant Preview works in the manual exposure mode. So I've set my mode dial to manual so I can control my aperture and shutter speed. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the ISO to 100 on the camera. It was in auto. Now, if I take a picture of Dawn and I push play, we're going to see that the picture looks different than my preview. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the ISO to 1600, and I'm going to take the picture again. So as you can see on the screen, the scene looks not correct, but somewhat normal here. Now at 1600 ISO, when I push the preview button, you're going to see it's very overexposed. So what's happening here is the screen is not showing me what my actual exposure is going to be. Now, if I turn on Constant Preview, I go into the menu, it's in the gear or cog, and it's under Display 1, and it's called Constant Preview. And I'm just going to go there, I'm going to go and I'm going to turn Constant Preview on. So now what's going to happen, let me go back to a lower ISO. In fact, let me make my exposure look how I would like it to look here. So now I'm going to take the picture. We can see it looks normal on the back of the screen. With Constant Preview on, now I see the picture live. I see the exposure live just as I want it to look. The Constant Preview mode will also let you preview what the depth of field is and what the effect of the shutter speed is when you take the picture. For this demonstration, I'm going to put the ISO to auto. And again, we're going to preview the effect of the aperture here on the depth of field. So I'm going to leave my aperture at f4, which is going to show on the screen here the shallow depth of field. You can see that the puck closest to us is out of focus where Dawn is in focus. Now, if I change my aperture here to f13, you're going to see everything come into focus because it's previewing the depth of field for us. And now I'm going to show you how the shutter speed preview works in the Constant Preview mode. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my aperture down to, let's guess around 5.6 here. Now I want to take the shutter speed down to 1/10 of a second because we want to show you how it's going to preview the effect of doing that. So I'm going to lower this to 1/10 of a second. Okay. Now my exposure is pretty much correct. Constant Preview is showing us the exposure we're going to get. But what I'm going to ask Dawn to do is to slide the puck towards me and watch for the blur in her hand and the puck as she does this. Go ahead, Dawn. And that's how Constant Preview works on the S-Series cameras.
Panasonic.